Okay, so let's finish up the weight paint with the neck and the head. Let's just come in here. I'm going to go into edge mode, double click this edge here and convert it to vertices, which again is a control right click. And then I'm going to shift period to grow this up once. And maybe I will pick on a couple more of these vertices at the back. Let's see what I can do to grab those. I'll just use my shift key and select these vertices here. Maybe I'll do both of these. You can see that I'm weight painting in broad strokes at this point. Great big broad strokes. I'll do this one in the Paint Skin Weights tool because it's open. There, Paint Skin Weights. This should all go to the neck. So we'll replace and flood. Whoops, let's not do the whole thing, that would be bad. Back to vertex mode, and we'll flood just to these vertices. Good, okay. So now I've got my neck done. You can see again that there are some little gray areas here. I don't know that I necessarily want those to be gray. So these are still places where I can go in and say, you know, maybe more of these things need to go to the freeze joint. See, I just hate having to go back and forth between all of the tools. You look pretty good. I'm fine with it. It's fine. We'll just accept that little stretch area. Now I have been painting in really broad strokes, and you can see that in most places I've got a really strong demarcation of where a joint affects and where it doesn't. You may like those, and you may find them very irritating. What you can do is you can come in and say, you know, my neck has this really sharp transition, and I kind of don't want that. Let's get rid of my jaw animation and do a little neck animation so that we can see what that looks like. Let's delete this. And we'll go back here and we will delete this. And then we'll come here and we will key these and come over to here and key again. But actually that doesn't look too bad. I'm fine with that. It's a little foldy, but it's not too terrible. So if, let's say, you have a demarcation and you don't like it, it's just a little too strong, what you can do is you can change the paint operation from replace to smooth, and then flood again. Each time you flood, it's going to just smooth out those transitional areas so that they're blended a little more closely between the joints. So something like that looks pretty good. Just remember that you can hit the flood button as many times as you want. You are not limited to hitting it only once. So I'm actually going to go through and I am going to smooth out a number of things. Barely using it, probably shouldn't have bound to it. So let's take my freeze joint and let's just smooth that out a little bit. The lower lip, we'll smooth that out. The upper lip, we'll smooth that out. And now as I play with my joints, I should just see nice, smooth transitions between them. Yeah, that's better. That's much better. This is not one that you can do with the component editor, which always makes me just a little bit sad. Yeah, that's, if you're sneezing, you're going to use that. So we'll just pull that up and sneeze a little bit. So that always makes me a little sad, but it is a super useful tool. So again, just go through. I've switched my paint operation from replace to smooth. And you can hit the flood button any number of times until you find the paint weight that works for you. And that's where I'm going to leave off on all of my weight painting. Let's pop back in here real quick. So that's where my neck is. It's not the cleanest. There's still a couple things I could probably clean up. There's my head joint, which I probably shouldn't have bound to, but it's not bothering me. There's my freeze joint. That's about where I'd like the freeze joint to be. Lower lip and upper lip. And again, give yourself plenty of time to do this once or twice or however many times it takes. And when we get back, we will make some quick controls for the joints, and then we'll move on to the exciting new part, which is the blend shapes.